did. Wilcox with an up and out. Wide open. Touchdown. Israel 2.
Snap to Young. Drops back. Pressure from the edges. He throws near sideline. And it's intercepted. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30. Near sideline. Breaks a tackle. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. 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 Georgia.
Good evening, neighborhood. How about them dogs?
32, 18. Let the celebration begin.
Celebration indeed. Welcome in. It is the Bleav in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Bleav Podcast Network, or actually, no, just the Bleav Network at this point. Also coming at you on Brinks TV. Joining me is a very special friend of mine. Israel is out tonight. He is on track team duty, and they're putting their house on the market, so he is on cleanup duty at home. So joining me to fill in is my man from Illegal Motion, Bleav in Badgers, Bleav in Vandy, and, well, you can find him just about anywhere on the internet at this point. It's Matthew Perkins. What's up, man?
What's up, Coach? Thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me fill in here this evening. So love that intro. Love that intro, by the way.
One of my students made that beat.
It's pretty slick.
Yeah. I got a whole library of his stuff he let me have, so that's one of them. So his name is Nate Deason. He was in my first graduating class at Hillwood.
Well, there you go.
He's him and Nick Madrid were friends. So we got an action-packed show. Like I said, you can find Matt on Illegal Motion. You can find the two of us together on Illegal Motion. We joined forces with Josh Cook to deliver that show, and Bleav in Badgers, which is absolutely killing. If you haven't, this is SEC country, so you may not know the beauty of the Bleav in Badgers podcast. But if you want to jump in Big Ten country, my man Matt's the man. Him and the Hebrew Hammer himself do a great show. They're actually going to be there's some big news in that. I'll let him tell you if he wants to. But we are brought to you by betonline.ag. It's our partners continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports info for all the latest sports developments, including the updated odds of NBA playoffs, fights, and even next season's futures. And don't forget the MLB is back as well. We know who we're picking to win the World Series. Matt, you're wearing it on your shirt. How about them Bravos? Let's go, Bravos.
Not a great start to the season. I'll tell you that. That's how it is right now.
Well, I mean, it's April and we're waiting on Ronald Acuna to come back. It's okay. Just got to get the pitching in order. Got to get somebody that can pitch other than Max Fried, and Braves will be just fine. So, BetOnline is your continued source for all your sports wagering needs, including live betting and your favorite Vegas casino and poker games. It's super easy to get started. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and use our promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, it's where the game starts. Okay, Matt.
What's up?
We're going to talk a little Georgia because, well, we are the Bleav in Georgia Dogs podcast. So we're going to talk a little Georgia, and then I'm going to turn it over to you and let you kind of go on about what's going on with you and your ventures and everything like that, and then we'll wrap this puppy up and deliver you into the weekend. So, Amarius Mims, one of the biggest stories of the spring for the Bulldogs. Amarius Mims goes into the portal, unannounced, unexpected. He's competing for a starting job, goes into the portal, actually goes on a visit to Florida State, and after a 2-day visit, returns home and says, "You know what? Maybe the transfer portal is not for me. I'm gonna come back to Georgia." So, what were your thoughts on that as far as that goes? And then I'm gonna ask you just a general question on the portal. Like, if you get in the portal, should you have to transfer, or is it okay to, come back?
All right, let me answer the second part of that question first. I saw that our mutual friend Jake Crane had posted that exact same thing on Twitter the other day, asking if you go into the portal, is that where do you have to then leave? And I would say, if I am a coach and I go interview for another job, I don't get the job, or decide to come back to that job, I don't lose my job just because I've interviewed somewhere else. right? And so if we're sort of using the portal to match the mobility available to coaches, to players, we then need to allow them to do that. I think that if they go in the portal and it's mutually agreed upon between the coaching staff and the player that they want to come back, let them back in. I don't think that you should have to leave. I think that's silly.
Yeah, I do too. And I just thought it was an interesting question because, there are some people out there that say, hey, if you stick your name in that portal, boom, you're dead to me. You're gone. Get out of here. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out.
The good Lord split you.
Yeah, there you go. You said it much nicer than me. But, I'm stoked that Mims is returning. I thought it was kind of crazy for him to hit the portal. I didn't think the grass was greener for him.
So it wasn't crazy for me. From what I understand, Georgia coaching staff wanted to kick him into guard. He wanted to stay at tackle. His recruiting in itself was a very topsy-turvy one. If I remember correctly, he had multiple commitments. He was sort of the central figure in McDonald's bag gate at Tennessee. Yeah. And so he's a guy that has always had commitment problems, for better or for worse, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's like out of all the people on the roster, like, yeah, of course, he's like one of the first people I would have imagined who would have gone into the portal for Georgia. Second, probably only to Eric Gilbert, who is he in witness protection? I haven't seen or heard anything about him recently.
Well, you didn't watch the G-Day game because he scored 2 touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's back, and he's apparently in a good headspace right now. So
that's good. Yeah, I'm all locked into the Wisconsin spring game, which is coming up this Saturday.
Yeah, so it was a good showing for a few people. Eric Gilbert being one of them, Stetson Bennett, Carson Beck. But yeah, no, Mims coming back is huge. I don't think it's over for him at tackle either. I think the coaching staff just wants best fit, best five. And Stacey Searles has always been a cross trainer type guy. Like, hey, no guard, no tackle, and just get in where you fit in.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the cross-training thing, and I think that is an interesting philosophy because one of the things that Georgia shares with Wisconsin has been a strong offensive line play for the better part of 2 decades now. I mean, Wisconsin's case, it's 3. But we, in the different offensive line coaches that the Badgers have had, the last one, Joe Rudolph, who's now at Virginia Tech, he cross-trained everyone on everything. And I thought it was to such a degree that it actually ended up hurting the line because no one was really able to truly excel at any given position except for the center. And so it led to much worse offensive line play over the last, I'd say, 3 seasons than would to be expected at Wisconsin. And I was wondering how you sort of felt in general about cross-training and the amount to cross-train guys on the offensive line.
Well, I think you got to start with your tweeners. Like if you have a guy that's not quite fast enough to play tackle, but not quite big enough and thick enough to play guard, depending on what your base scheme is, you kind of have to cross-train him to see where he fits. But I think in the case of Joe Rudolph, I think he went a little overboard and cross-trained everybody, which I don't think is necessary. There's some guys that, without a shadow of doubt, they're tackles, and that's what they are. Mm-hmm. Leave them alone, put them at tackle, and let's roll. Like, in Georgia's case, Project Jones.
And it's interesting because Bob Bostad, who was the Badgers offensive line coach for, I want to say 6-8 years in the late 2000s, early 2010s, one of the best line coaches ever, is back at offensive line coach at Wisconsin. He'd been the inside linebackers coach and developed All-American Leo Chenal, amongst other guys. But he's back coaching the offensive line, and there's been like 2 guys who have been cross-training, and the line seems to be much stronger at the same point in the offseason 1 year later, even though they've only had conditioning in the 15 practices that are sanctioned under the coaches. But I just think it's really interesting to see sort of how that one like small change in approach can really affect the room overall. And
no doubt.
Yeah. So, but you mentioned Eric Gilbert, and you mentioned to me before the show that you think that there can be a pretty strong argument to be made that this is the best tight end room in the history of college football, the history of Georgia football, the history of SEC football. I'm curious as to how far you want to play this out.
Depends on how hyperbolous I'm feeling today. But in all seriousness, this is probably in the country this coming up season. I'd be willing to do a little research and figure out who actually
here's
had
the thing.
The best tight end room.
Oh, well, here's the thing, Coach. I've been doing that research. If you come over to MikeFarrellSports.com, I write a column over there. I'm the editor-in-chief over at MikeFarrellSports.com.
Portal, right?
The Conciliary.
The Conciliary.
The Conciliary.
That's the Southern in me. Conciliary.
Conciliary. Yeah. Thanks, Coach. The Conciliary's notebook, my weekly column. This is coming out on a Friday. It'll come out today. And, I haven't attacked this, but in my editing of Mike, we've looked at tight end rooms. And this season, I think that they have the 1A tight end room in the country to Utah's 1B. I adore Utah's tight end room for this year. I think that they have
their top. Don't think you're wrong.
Their top three are so strong and so complimentary.
Hey, Matt, I present to you Oscar Delp, incoming freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He is Brock Bowers light.
Okay.
And then Darnell Washington, obviously, the NBA player. But spring game really surprised me. I could see us legitimately getting into 14 personnel and not thinking twice about it.
I mean, as a Wisconsin person, that gets me excited in the nether regions when I see.
We uttered the words 23 personnel last week.
Oh, that's a lot of fun.
You should listen to our show last week. I mentioned I name dropped that you would be that you and Hebrew Hammer would be excited that we would spot Paul Christ at our spring game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You kidding me? Bring out the personally, my favorite is what's referred to as the barge formation, which uses an extra offensive lineman, a tight end, two fullbacks, and a tailback.
Yeah, we did something like that with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in the lineup at the same time.
Yeah, that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
That is, figuratively and literally. So, I mean, I'm a big believer in Utah.
Yeah, I like Utah. And if you want to go historically, if they can play to their expectations, I think the three groups, I should say, that stand out to me. Most recently would be that Iowa tight end room of 2018 that had both Noah Fant and TJ Hawkinson. Both guys were first rounders. Both guys super duper productive guys. And they may not have had the same depth that this room has it, but the high end talent, and just the fact that those were Brock Bowers is the number one guy in terms of receiving on the Georgia offense. Well, Hawkinson and Fant were 1 and 2 there. So, that's tough production to beat there. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, you can look at Iowa tight ends for the past 15, 20 years almost, especially when you go back earlier to the Dallas Clark days. There was some, there was always a guy right after the guy that seemed to step in and fill in well. The other teams considered would be early 2000s. Miami, you had a run where you had Jeremy Shockey, Kellen Winslow Jr., Greg Olson, just guy after guy after guy. And there were a couple years here where you'd have three of those NFL guys overlap. So I don't know if you're judging it on pure production. I don't know if you're judging it on NFL talent, NFL success. But I mean, yes, I think that this Georgia tight end room this season, has easily a top 5 all-time potential. And
I mean that's all we got right now. We have nothing have nothing to go on, because last year it was just Brock Bowers, and he was he was the most productive tight end in the country. Didn't get much behind him at that position, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to get a lot of production out of Eric Gilbert this year. I'm anticipating. I mean, the dude's a huge target, and and runs kind of. I mean, I'm not saying he's Kyle Pitts, but he kind of plays that style of football.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, he's Kyle Pitts-esque, I should say. So it's exciting. And then Oscar Delp is a athletic tight end from Atlanta and just signed early enrollee. So he had a big spring game himself. But man, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the Badgers could borrow some of yours because they have 7 scholarship tight ends and 5 are now out with injuries.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, not looking good. No, definitely not looking good.
So Stetson, I think finally it's unilateral across the. I would say nothing's ever unilateral, but it's a very high percentage across the board that Stetson Bennett is the guy, and he's well supported now. I think Georgia fans have finally bought into it. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know how you could not buy into it at this point. How is it not? How is it anyone but Stetson Bennett? I mean, JT Daniels is gone.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that. He's at West Virginia. I mean, is Carson Beck even still kicking around? Like,
he is. He actually had he's going to be the number 2.
Okay. And then you've still got Vandegrift.
Yeah. He didn't look as comfortable as Beck did in the pocket.
I mean, if you think about it,
Beck was outplaying him. Similar competition. At
this time last year, he should have been going to high school prom. So, like, I mean, he was an early enrollee and got those extra 15 practices, but he's also quarterback. And it's freaking tough, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was a quarterback on a roster with Beck, Bennett, and JT Daniels all getting reps.
Yeah.
So I get it.
This will be Stetson. Stetson will have the swan song, and then you'll go into next year, and you guys have that. You guys have the kid that. Don't you guys have like a 5-star committed for next year? I'm pretty sure.
We have one early enrollee, Gunnar Stockton, and then
that's what I'm thinking of, Gunnar Stockton. Yeah,
and we're still in the thick of it with Arch Manning too.
That's going to be interesting. I'm curious how you think Arch Manning's recruitment is going to play out, because I've heard a lot of things from a lot of people. Yeah, because like he likes vastly different things at the places he's visited. So you can't really get a beat on where he really is, because like at Georgia, he really likes my cousin Buster. Like, like they've got a great relationship, and he likes Todd Monken and the scheme and what what their plans are with him. At Alabama, it's obviously Alabama, Nick Saban and, what they've done with the quarterback position here of late. Of course, Ole Miss has a chance, not only because his dad Cooper played there before he got injured with the spinal stenosis, but also having Lane Kiffin there helps their cause as well. But and that's where his namesake went. That's where Archie, his grandfather, went, which is his namesake. So like, you can't discount that either. No.
But also don't discount Virginia out of the race, because like the entire Manning family outside of Olivia, all the females in the Manning family are Virginia people. They all went to Virginia.
That would be something for Tony Elliott. That would be imagine if Tony Elliott got that in his first real cycle.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. So, I mean, this recruitment's going to be interesting. Out of the 3 Manning recruitments so far, his included. So Peyton, Eli, and now Arch.
I would like to see Arch go to somewhere that is not Ole Miss or Tennessee.
Tennessee's out of it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Tennessee was going to be it anyway. I mean, who would want to go to Tennessee at this point?
No,
I sure don't.
No,
even if the McDonald's bags are a little heavier than they are other places.
I mean, your Happy Meal is truly happy, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, money can only buy so much happiness, and I'm not sure if you could pay me enough money to live in Knoxville.
No, that's true.
That being said, I think it'd be fun for him to go to Georgia. The cynic in me just believes he's going to Alabama, and that's going to be that. And then he's going to, spend 3 years at Alabama, give Nick Saban 3 last titles, and send him off into the sunset. So Saban finished his career with an even 10.
I would rather him go to Ole Miss.
I would too. Absolutely.
I mean, obviously,
do you know where I don't want him to go? I do not want him to go to Texas.
I don't think he's going to go to Texas.
I don't know, man.
I mean, he likes it. I just don't. There's some
smoke there.
There is some smoke, but there's some smoke at Georgia. There's smoke at Ole Miss. There's some smoke at Virginia,
at Alabama.
So, there's smoke at all those places.
Is there smoke at LSU? Is there smoke at LSU?
LSU don't want that smoke.
Ugh, that's too bad for them. But
I don't think he's good enough to join the family. I do declare, Arch Manning, you could come play for me, Brian Kelly, in a day and twice on Sunday. Oh boy, we'll have a crawfish bowl. Oh man, yeah.
Brian Kelly.
Arch is like, aren't you from Boston?
Yeah, aren't you Irish Catholic from Boston? Who? Let's not get in there. Let's not get in there.
Yeah, let's not do it. So no, he's not going to LSU. Let's just put that one to bed.
I'm happy to.
I can guarantee he's not going to Oregon either.
Gun to my head today, I'd say he's going to Ole Miss.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with you there. I would say Ole Miss, followed by Georgia, Alabama, Virginia.
I'd see for me, I would flip Alabama and Georgia. I'd have Alabama second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can relatively agree after that.
Yeah.
So,
the draft's coming up, Matt.
Yes, sir.
And Georgia's going to have quite a bit of front seven talent in that draft.
Yes.
How do you replace 5 potential first rounders?
Well, I mean, for Georgia, it's just plug 5 new 5-stars in. Yeah. Is what it seems to be like. I'm very jealous. No, well, I mean, yes, you have 5 new starters, but at the same time, your backups got so much play last year and were such an integral part. Georgia, as well as anyone under Dan Lanning, used a lot of rotations on the defensive line, right? And so the guys you still have who are still eligible, there's guys who got tons of snaps last year, right? I mean, Nolan Smith, just looking at him alone.
Smith, I mean, he was a, he could have gone to the NFL too and been a second rounder, but I think he came back. I think he's going to get a first round grade after this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I think with him, he's got amazing burst, but he's very slender and light to be a true edge rusher. And so I think that either for him, he has to bulk up a little bit more, or
that's what Leonard Floyd did too.
Yeah, that's what Leonard Floyd did. But Leonard Floyd is tall. Leonard Floyd's like 6'6", 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah. Nolan's like 6'4", right?
6'3", I want to say
6'3", 6'4", something like that.
Yeah, he plays longer than he is, but he's really like 6'3", I'm pretty sure. But he plays with amazing leverage. But is he going to bulk up, or is he going to play more off ball dropping? How is he going to? I think the question for me then is, how is he going to adapt, and what is the new staff going to do, or what is the new defensive coordinator going to do in order to again maximize his talent?
I think they're going to send him. He's a good pass rusher.
He's a great pass. I mean, he's not a good pass rusher. He's a great pass rusher. He's if I could start my college football team this season with a pass rusher, I mean, he's not going to be my first pick. Obviously, that's Will Anderson,
and then Dallas Turner.
And then Dallas Turner. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Dude, Dallas Turner is crazy.
Oh, my God, man.
Dude, Dallas Turner is nuts. He was the guy in the title game that just, like, blew me, off of my couch. And he was recruited as a middle backer, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they just, like, he got there like, oh, why don't you just try playing edge rusher? Like, okay.
It's like cross-training, man.
Cross-training.
Yeah. I mean, that seems to be the theme of the day, right?
Yeah. But
yeah.
After that, I mean, Nolan Smith would be probably my next choice if I could have any pass rusher in the country.
Yeah.
Followed by Nick Herbig at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Who's
not a bad deal.
Who's a stud.
Yeah.
But actually Herbig and Smith have very similar measurables.
Yes.
But they're both outstanding pass rushers due to the fact that they're insanely fast with their first step and so nimble and able to change direction very quickly. And part of that is due to the fact that they will weigh 100 pounds less than the offensive tackle that they are playing opposite of.
Yes, and that helps.
But that can also help you get bullied around in the run game. But when you're Georgia last year, I mean, your front three are going to keep, 5 offensive linemen off of the rest of the defense. And so I think for the Dogs this year, what they have to figure out is what does their defensive interior, especially rotation, look like, especially when they go to maybe 2 down lineman looks, which I know that they will do a lot in third down situations, things like that. And so who are the guys that are going to be on the field for those snaps? And because, I mean, let's face it, like, what did Jordan Davis play? Like 40% of the defensive snaps last season? Did he even play 50% last year?
I don't think he did. I don't think he had to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's my point. So, I mean, how many – you're actually replacing less snaps as a percentage than you would think for a defense that is replacing 5 of their front 7.
Right. And so – and Zion Logue, my guy from Lebanon, he's gonna step in at nose. He's got huge, man. He's 6'6". He's real big and long, and just, I mean, he's not quite as, nobody's the mammoth that Jordan Davis was, but he's certainly somebody that can eat up some blockers. Jalen Carter's going to be, one of those ends. He's going to be.
Well, I mean, Jalen Carter's fantastic,
and he'll be the other guy in the 2 down. Like I think those 2 guys can command a lot of attention, so that your rushers, and you can do some unique stuff with your pressures, with the linebackers, with Trezimon Marshall and Jamon Dumas Johnson. Those are going to be your 2, Money and Mack. That's the name of the inside linebackers, Money and Mack.
I like that.
And Trezimon Marshall had a really, really good spring game, especially in pass coverage, which is something that Georgia hasn't had much of at the linebacker position, even with Nakobe Dean being a stellar pass cover linebacker. They haven't got that just across the board with both of those positions. So they're excited about that, I know. So that's gonna be fun. And then Chaz Chambliss at Sam. He's going to be kind of your run edge guy, your stand up guy. In third down situations when they do go the 2 D linemen with the extra linebacker, Chaz Chambliss will probably be that extra guy. MJ Sherman, Robert Beal, Xavier Sori will be also kind of in that mix as well.
Sori's a kid I like a lot. I think that he's got he's got really high ceiling.
Yeah, he does, and he's actually listed as the backup money. But he's one of those that can jump down and play either.
Yeah, no, I liked him a lot coming out of high school. I think it was just last year. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. So, but his high school tape was really impressive.
Absolutely. So, just check out Georgia's spring game, Matt. You'll get a lot of answers there. But before we get to you, because I know we're not huge on time, so. Before we get to you, I want to tell you about Athletic Greens. Tons of people take multivitamins, but it's important to choose one that's top quality. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to start your day right. Their special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, gives you that energy boost, recovery, focus, and, of course, aging, which is lately that's what I need. So it's lifestyle friendly. It fits a wide range of diets. So Matt, your South Beach diet, man, it fits right in.
South Beach.
There's only 1 gram of sugar and no chemicals or artificial anything, man. So reclaim your health, arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D, and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Bleav. That's BLEAV. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Bleav. Athletic Greens, take ownership of your health. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure or prevent any disease. Yeah, so the link is also going to be in our description, so you can click that too. I almost nailed it.
It was so close.
Almost nailed it.
I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. I wrote that copy, so I apologize in advance for. Or I should say, I guess this is in retrospect. It's not advance for making you read that too fast.
No, it's all good. I wanted to. I saw that as a challenge. I'm going to nail it at one point. and I'm going to nail it really fast too. So
I Bleav you can do it, Coach.
I can. I got it in me. I got the auctioneer in me. So it's your turn now. I know not much is happening on the Bleav in Vandy front lately. I know that's kind of
Bleav in Vandy
gig.
front. We've got the combination of my co-host having. Well, he didn't have the baby. His wife had the baby, but having just had a new child within the last couple of weeks, plus the fact that let's face it, like Vandy blows.
It's not fun to talk about.
It's awful. It's so bad. Like I was like Ryan Seymour, former Vanderbilt offensive lineman, NFL offensive lineman for I think plays for 7 teams. Ryan and I have the best time on the show. But it's usually when we're talking about anything that's not Vandy football. Well, because
why don't you just go rogue and just turn it into a rogue show? People to like just mention like one Vandy thing to justify being Bleav in Vandy, and then just rock and roll with whatever.
Yeah, I mean we'll do something. Ryan's juggling being a new dad, new job. So it's things are a little tough for him and me on my own, man. It's. Whew, talking about the Doors, I could maybe do a little Doors baseball right now. Went to a Doors game the other day, baseball game against Florida.
Vandy boys.
Yeah, Vandy boys. And then they had a big, Coach, man, they had a big thing for alumni where you could go and get all this gear. It was all super cheap, like everything like $5, and like we're talking like brand new like sets of Ruds, like spandex if that would be like $70, $80. They're $5. Like everything's like $5, and like hoodies and sweatshirts are $15. So went the other day, got a ton of gear through my wife's
you got to be
Commodore
outfitted
Club.
for your show. Yeah.
Oh, I am completely fitted, suited, and booted for that. But no, I mean, more stuff is happening over with Bleav in Badgers. Bernie and I, Matt Bernstein, a.k.a. the Hebrew Hammer, Wisconsin legend. He and I have we're hitting it weekly in the off season right now. As we ramp up to our games, we will be coming at you with twice a week's usual Monday morning fullback, breaking down the game every Monday in season. And then our typical interviews on Thursdays. We've had some amazing guests of recently.
Sean Lewis was a really fun one. The head coach at Kent State.
Yeah, so we had Kent State head coach Sean Lewis. That was a great interview. I was just actually making a best of podcast the other day.
Oh wow!
For our which I released earlier this week, and listening back to our interview with Brandon White, who is the CEO of Receiver Factory. He doesn't like to talk about it, but he is Odell Beckham Jr. and Stephon Diggs and Jameson Williams' personal receiver coach. He went to Wisconsin. He's from Fort Lauderdale originally, and his story is absolutely phenomenal. And so I would really recommend tuning into that one if you have a chance, because that one is less about Wisconsin than any of our other episodes, I would say. But we have a lot of really interesting people on the show, and it's just it's a passion project of mine, obviously, as is Illegal Motion, which is the podcast that
right.
Coach Corey over here and our good friend Josh Cook talk about college and football among other things.
Yeah,
I think it's a show that is tangentially related to college football, even though it's called the Illegal Motion College Football Podcast.
It's ADHD on the radio.
Yeah, pretty much. And then finally, like I said earlier, I'm the editor-in-chief, also known as the Conciliary, over at MikeFarrellSports.com. You guys all know the Godfather, Mike Farrell. I am the editor and publisher of the website for him, and we are doing a lot of stuff, man.
I see that.
Yeah, he left Rivals on March 31st. Yeah, so it's now April. What is today? The 21st. So it's been 3 weeks, and the site's been growing by leaps and bounds. We got a lot of stuff going on there, where we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 articles a day coming out right now, videos, podcasts, and, you know, everything you want to know, especially in the portal. I'm really impressed with, we've got a portal like beat writer basically, who's been doing some really good work. And but make sure, if you want to stay up to date on the portal, which I actually think it's really interesting that the Dogs haven't brought in anyone from the portal yet, have they?
They've not. I'm surprised. I thought we would. Yeah, we would look at defensive backs or
Georgia and
or somebody.
As far as I know, Georgia, Iowa, and Oregon State are the only 3 schools that have only 3 group of Power 5 schools that have not brought in anyone in the portal. And for me, 2 of my 3 best friends support 2 of those 3 teams. So
exactly. So
on the other end is Wisconsin, who's brought in like 11 guys.
That's crazy. Ole Miss is bringing everybody in, so we can't.
Yeah, Ole Miss take everybody.
Yeah, I mean, we took a look at Jahmyr Gibbs. We took a look at Eli. We almost got Eli Ricks, but he ended up.
That would have been interesting. I think Ricks would have been really interesting for you guys.
Well, that would have solved a lot of our issues on defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I'm surprised we didn't go nab a corner, go nab a safety, or go nab something.
Well, because Wisconsin got 3 of them. Wisconsin got 3 corners and a safety.
So I guess we just didn't need it.
Yeah, including Cedric Dort, who was at Kentucky for a lot last couple of years and was pretty decent. So excited about having him around.
That's a good get. I know Vinny had a hard time losing that one.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a really good one. I'm actually the guy I might be most excited about. Just weirdly, is we got a guy from Arkansas, Vito Cava, Russo, the kicker. Nice. Wisconsin hasn't had a kicker since Coach, your former nemesis, Rafael Gaglianone, was kicking for them. Oh wow,
yes.
So
yes.
Anyone who knows Rafa, the Brazilian kicking sensation from Tennessee, he listed at like 5'10", 240, and he could drill a 55-yarder with his eyes closed.
Yeah, that dude was ridiculous. I mean, we would be in warm-ups, right? He played at if any of you are familiar with Tennessee high school football, which if you're listening to the show, you probably aren't, but there's a boarding school. It's a co-ed boarding school in Chattanooga called Baylor. Mm-hmm. And we're warming up, and I've got my back turned, and all of a sudden, he trots out. I'm like, oh, that's the kicker. Oh God, like you start making the jokes of like the fat kicker,
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, I'm not thinking anything of it. And all of a sudden, I hear this. I felt like it was a gunshot, but it was him kicking. That ball was just coming off his foot.
It sounds like it's coming out of a howitzer.
Yeah, and you could hear it just cutting through the air, and it got to the uprights like that.
Yeah, he was an amazing kicker, like an absolutely amazing kicker, and just a great fun all around dude. So that's what I'm up to, man. Plus, I have my normal 9-to-5 job. So
there you go. His 9-to-5 job is. I was trying to think of something funny, but I couldn't.
No, I don't have a fun 9-to-5 job. I'm a chimney sweep. No.
I was trying to think of something. I was trying to think of the most ridiculous job of all time, but I just couldn't do it. It's late.
Sorry.
It's late. We've been in T and ready testing.
Oh yeah.
I'm like the proctor extraordinaire at my school.
Oh, that must be a little bit boring.
It is very boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's productive, like for writing goals and like just like mapping out my offense and like situations and trying to figure out practice and trying to do anything I can to get these kids engaged.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
Well, I believe if there's anyone who can do it, it's you.
Yes. Well, testing. I give credit to testing with a lot of that. So, MikeFarrellSports.com. Like, how did that come about, man? Like,
Mike and I have worked together for a year and a half at this point, I want to say. I started by doing graphics for him, and then I got into doing some editorial work with him. And, we've just sort of been like, I produced all of his social media graphics for pretty much the past year and a half. And it just, when he left Rivals, he asked me if I'd be interested in helping him out in his as he hangs his own shingle out there in the digital world. And I said, sure, man, why not? I could use an adventure. So I built my own website for the first time ever. So that was cool.
That is cool. That is very cool. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with Mike Farrell in my 12 years at Rivals, which still, as of now, is still my longest tenured job that I've had. Teaching, I've been teaching for going on 9 years, but only 5 of those has been at the same spot. I've made 3 stops in those 9 years, or soon to be 9 years. So I'm completing my 5th year at Hillwood. So I'm eligible next January for tenure in Metro. That's
for you, dude.
It's pretty
That's
exciting.
awesome.
So, but I'm happy. I'm gonna stick around. I got a good situation coming, and I've met with the architects several times on my room at the new school. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope.
Yeah, man. I see it every day when I see the construction every day.
It's going to be dope. I saw the layout. It's going to be outstanding.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, but yeah, man. I know you got to run. I know you got some projects to do, but
I have brochures to go make. So
I have brochures. So you're a travel agent, huh? No,
pretty much. I'm sending them. I'm sending them to a conference in Charlotte. So yes, in some ways I am.
There you go. So you got to make this little brochure nice and tidy with their itinerary. So I'm gonna let you go and rock and roll with that. But that's pretty much all we got right now. We're kind of in a dead period.
Yep.
A little programming note for next week. We are in anticipation for the NFL draft. We did talk to Joe DeLeon last week about NFL draft stuff, so we will probably re-air that because A, yes, it was that good, and B, it's relevant to what we're talking about. So that'll be a relaunch there just to get some more coverage on that. So if you're watching, we thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. It'll let you know when there's new content available. Follow us on social media. Matt, what's your socials?
At Bleav in Badgers everywhere, and my personal Twitter is at _Perko_. So, but check out MikeFarrellSports.com and at MFarrellSports on Instagram and on Twitter, and at Farrell Portal on Twitter as well. We've got every time. If you want to know who the latest to be in the portal is, just follow at Farrell Portal. Every time a new guy goes in the portal, we let you know. Every time someone has announced they're committing somewhere else, we let you know. It's the number one stop for all your portal related needs.
That's right. And we hope that Israel did not get hit in the head with a discus tonight or take a javelin to the chest. That would have been tragic. But
track me once where I saw someone get hit by a discus in the head.
Yeah, I think he just texted me that one of the coaches there almost got hit. So
I've seen that. I've seen someone get hit with a javelin. That was not great, and I hit someone with a shot put once. That's a different story for a different time.
That is. We'll have to do story time later. So, but all our social is scrolling on down below. So take a screenshot, give us a follow. Our people are growing. Our network is growing slowly but surely. And I went on the Uptempo podcast earlier this afternoon, so give that a listen. Joined in with Blake Lane on a new upstart podcast. He actually got his start from TikTok. He had a TikTok that went viral about him actually hammering on Kirby Smart. He's an Auburn guy. And that particular one went viral, so he started a podcast. And,
all right.
And full circle, he had me on. So,
well,
and I was it's a pretty big deal when I'm the special guest. So,
that's how I feel right now.
Yeah, you are my special guest. You are a big deal. You're a much bigger deal. I'm going to ride your coattails on this one. So, but anyway, Mike Farrell Sports, very good people. Mike and I are also in good times from our Rivals days. So Mike is a great guy. great writer, great with recruiting. So
Yeah,
I have no doubt that Mike Farrell Sports is going to blow up. And
Rivals has sort of pulled Mike off of the recruiting beat to focus on college football, and he's going back to the recruiting game because I've told him, like, as his consigliere, he's the godfather. I'm his consigliere. It's literally what I'm here for. And I thought, like, he's going to be getting back into recruiting hard, and it's going to be awesome because
he's got you for college football.
Well, and because there's no one better when it comes to recruiting. There's no one better.
No, I mean he changed the game as far as analysis and stories and getting in touch with recruits and things like that. Where it was at the time everybody was kind of like, whoa, like this is crazy, like this is deep. But then,
that's why he's the godfather. That's why he's the godfather.
He is the godfather. So
yes, we all bow down, kiss his ring, and I take notes in the corner while I'm sipping on bourbon. So it works out.
There you go. That's what we got to do. So that's going to do it for us. We are the Bleav in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Bleav Network and coming at you on Brinks TV. We are presented by betonline.ag. We thank you for listening. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you back here. Well, we won't see you back here next week. Next week will be a rerun, but we will see you the following week. We'll talk about the draft, and we'll update you on some baseball and some other things as well. And as always, see you later, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
This is the Bleav in Georgia Dogs podcast on the Bleav Podcast